Good day, school students. This is Justina, your sub teacher. Today we will dive into the most exciting subject of all, the ear and sound waves. Please be patient with me while I start sharing my screen. Okay, today's session is part of an entire week, 5 days of set out sessions just on the ear, sound waves, creating a homemade magic ear trick tool, and memorizing and understanding intrinsically the parts of the ear, prevention of any infections, treatment of any bugs or tinnitus, as well as further understanding about your body. Okay, to start off, this is the coronal view of the ear. Point 1, the pinna. This is the outer flesh of the ear. This is the piece of meat teenagers and adults in their 50s who are having midlife crises usually pierce for fashion reasons, clan reasons, whatever reason. The temporal bone. This tube, the eustachian auditory tube, it is the tube that creates the often annoying echo and hearing loop. The cochlea, the stapes, the incus, the malleus, and the tympanic membrane, or the eardrum. Now I shall guide you through this school website on sound waves, and we will play with the frequency as well as the pitch. Okay, you'll notice the frequency is reset to 552 hertz automatically, and the amplitude matches the hertz. It's neutral. So I'll slide the bar to the highest pitch as well as the lowest pitch for you to hear the difference. Okay, this is soft ringing. Now I'll increase the hertz. And immediately I started feeling pressure in the forefront of my skull. Now I can describe how it feels on my body. I start feeling a tingling in my jaw beneath my earlobes, and a similar pressure to when the plane takes off on flight. Now I'm matching the amplitude. I feel a sensation surrounding my entire head as if it's an aura. If I were chewing gum, it would help relieve the pressure and to kind of do the pop sound in my ear. Now, it usually isn't this loud. However, you may notice whenever you are out in the malls or even schools have the fluorescent lights on the ceiling, and they do give off this subtle, sometimes irritating white noise. It usually isn't noticeable once you've become accustomed to it. It just blends into the background. However, whenever electricity has been tampered with or one of the lights is near being burnt out, um, it begins giving off this tingy sound, which can trigger anyone who has permanent tinnitus. Now I will lower the amplitude. Oh. Okay, and notice now when I slide the bar towards the lower end of the frequency of the hertz, the pulsation slows down and it's more theta, it's more methodic, it's more soothing, it's more lulling. These are beats that are used for hypnosis and for treating anxiety, trauma, and abuse victims of any kind. Okay. Now I'm doing the same thing. I'll reset at neutral or zero, just in the middle. And as we click on the bar, we'll measure the waves on the ruler on the screen. Okay, and the timer is measuring in milliseconds, increasing the hertz. No sound, just the vibration. You can see the pulsation. So this is essentially what is happening inside of your ear, but it isn't noticeable. You feel the sensation. You might be able to describe the sensation, but this is the visual of invisible wave sounds. Okay, now let's lower the amplitude, which is the strength, or it would be the loudness or the softness, and the frequency is how often the sound pulsates. Notice the waves are becoming longer, softer, more ebb and flow, such as waves of the ocean. And the milliseconds is timing the length of time the waves reach the indents or the marks on the ruler. Okay. Now, this is the same as the first intro. However, now the sounds are coming from two sources. Imagine you are one person and you have two people talking to you at the same time, perhaps giving instructions, or one person is intervening on an urgent matter and the other person is giving directions, and you have just one ear, and this is the visual of the what often feels like chaos when the interception of sounds and information or floods occur. I'm lowering the frequency to the lowest possible base, as the higher frequency literally feels as though long nails are being scratched on a board. And this just turned to mute silent, which is obviously a teacher's preferred volume. Okay. Now, the second last demonstration is the reflection, and it's essentially, this is the barrier, the line is the barrier. And when the waves bounce off against the barrier or against the line, now this can be a physical object such as a wall, a median in traffic, a building, a brick and mortar shop, for example, a house. The opposing waves reflect themselves and then they create patterns. Wall position neutral, wall angle. Let's see if I can do 90 degree. Okay, now frequency will go to high, which is just faster pulsation, and the amplitude. Now, what happens if I were to do the opposite? Highest frequency and lowest amplitude. See how the pattern changed. Now it's more checkerboard. Sorry, no pun intended. Okay, and now the lowest frequency, which slows the pulsation, the reception, and the response of the pulsation. And the louder amplitude. Now I'm switching to spiral pulse. Okay, this is faint lattice pattern design. Okay. I'll skip over the air pressure and save it for the next session. As my time is done. Thank you very much for joining and for coming along this journey regarding education, rehabilitation, and understanding of quantum physics. I will speak to you next time. Bye-bye.